Moviesucktastic is a podcast about bad movies and the people that love them. But it's more than just a podcast, it's also an online presence. If you want to know more about Moviesucktastic or want to become a part of Moviesucktastic, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Twitter at Moviesucktastic, you can find our blog at boothreviews.blogspot.com, or if you want to give your own reviews that we might use on the show, you can go to reviews.moviesucktastic.com and check out our own little lunch.com community for Moviesucktastic. Check us out and become a part of the show, because the only thing more fun than a bad movie is sharing it.
What you're seeing isn't really happening. Richard Benjamin and James Brolin are cowboys. They're vacationers in a fantastic resort called Westworld. Yul Brynner isn't a gunslinger. He's a robot. Westworld, where you can act out your every fantasy.
Hold it!
And where nothing can possibly go wrong.
Let me do it this time.
Go wrong. Go wrong.
I'm shot.
Go wrong.
Draw.
Westworld, rated PG.
You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
But I think... The fuck guys like you in prison.
Furthermore, you can all go fuck yourselves.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live! Fucking thing sucks!
Oh, there we go. Man, oh man.
Hello!
Hey, hi there.
Oh, I thought you forgot about me for a minute.
No, never. We really need to redo our opening video.
Yeah, I'm on it. Yeah.
It's well, I think we should both do one.
Mm-hmm.
But holy dear, oh, that
actually,
video was just bad, very bad.
Yeah, I just upgraded or updated my video editing capabilities on my computer along with some other stuff, so I can now edit video without crashing everything 5 or 6 times.
Cool.
So I'm working on that this weekend. I was gonna do one for Westworld, which is our movie review tonight, but I lost track of time.
That's okay. I know what that's like.
So welcome everybody to Moviesucktastic, episode number
this is number 300.
Holy shit. Okay, I'm not prepared for that. in the least. This
is episode 300. It's a fucking huge milestone.
Yeah,
for us.
And so far we're just batting it out of the park.
Yeah.
Oh.
I actually was thinking about planning something for this 300th episode where we have clips and have people call in and things like that. And you know what?
Well, we decided to wait until our 10th anniversary, which would be this October, right?
Well, our 10th anniversary is actually the very first episode we've ever done was in August. August of 2009. Okay. But we didn't actually, that was kind of like a test. It was like, can we do this? Right. Because then from October 2009 and on.
And of course, if you listen to this episode number 1, the answer is no, we can't.
We're still testing.
Yeah.
10 years later.
We're getting there.
Now, the thing is, in 10 years, we should be somewhere around 500 episodes, not 300.
But
So, but
fuck that.
But seriously, we have lives. I got children.
You know what? But you know what? If you go back through, sorry, I talked over you. I apologize.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
No, if you go back through the episodes, which I've done recently, because I'm trying to make a list. I'm trying to catalog everything we've done because we're losing track. I'll be honest. After 10 years, we're forgetting what we've done.
I challenged Scott to a movie that we did.
Right.
That we did like 250 episodes ago.
And I emailed Joey like twice this week. Are we sure we didn't do Westworld?
And I checked both times, and I'm like, it's not in the iTunes list, and it's not on the website, so I'm gonna say no.
If you go through our earlier episodes, there was like a nice chunk of time where we were doing 2 films an episode.
Oh yeah, we did that for first 40 episodes, something like that.
Something like that until you had your first kid, and we had to do solo stuff, which didn't work. Now if one of us isn't available, we just take a break.
which is fun. It's good. I like it.
Which is just exactly what we've kind of been doing since the Oscars. We've only recorded 1 or 2 episodes since the Oscars, and this is going to be our official full stop. And I actually was going to do announcements on Facebook and on our other social media, but I didn't. But I'm going to after this, and this is going to be the launch for our new our new return from a long hiatus, probably the longest one we've ever had.
I think it is. Well, yeah, it's definitely up there with when I had my first kid.
Well, but again, we still recorded stuff. We did solo stuff, which wasn't as good.
That is true.
I mean, as far as a lengthy silence, I've had people that listen to the show like in the past month, like just say, "Hey, so you guys doing the show anymore?" And I was like, "No, Joey kicked me to the curb. He found something better."
Yeah, right. I haven't even played video games in the last 2 months.
Yeah, right. Well, that I'm not going to say. That I had made time for that. Oh,
dude, I'm in like so hardcore in upgrades right now. I come home and then I plop on the couch and I end up falling asleep on said couch.
I feel your pain, sir.
Yeah, and it's my birthday and Father's Day next weekend. Yeah. So, and Merritt, she asked me, well, what do you want for birthday, Father's Day? And I'm like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I have $100 gift card that somebody gave me for fixing a computer for them that I didn't want money. So they gave me a $100 gift card to Amazon. I don't know what to do with it. I really don't. I mean, I could go blow it on something just to blow it, but I would rather do something better.
True. Now, I don't want to be a jerk here, but we really need to get on the movie stuff. Got to be film related. I'm sorry, we've been gone too long to start in with we'll spend 20 minutes talking about home life.
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
True.
We've been gone too long. We've got to stick to movies.
Okay. Well, I got the slideshow going on in the background.
All right.
It's a fun slideshow to put together this week. I got the Yul Brynner action figure that apparently they were selling at some point, which looks kind of like him, but it's actually creepier than him in the film. So this week, we also, because it's episode 300, by coincidence...
Hold on, I'm going to cut you off.
Okay.
What I was going to say is, there's a new format change.
That's what I was
going to talk.
That's
we're
what
going to talk about it. Right,
yeah.
But what I was going to say was, but we're going to talk about it after we talk about the movie.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's get people right into the film now. Let's stop with this stuff where people get pissed after 20 minutes because we're still babbling about shit that doesn't matter about the film, and let's just launch right into Westworld.
Why is there a picture of Star Trek? Did you send me a picture of Star Trek?
Yeah, but he's in Westworld. See, he's in sheriff's town.
I didn't look through the pictures you sent me. I just threw them in with the ones I already downloaded.
Well, I want to get back to... I meant to do it with Westworld. I want to get back to making my own screenshots with subtitles or captions on them.
Right, okay.
But I just didn't have time this weekend. But starting with your challenge, I'm going to be doing that again. So we'll have more pictures. But there weren't that many pictures to grab quickly for the slideshow. And I didn't make my own. So that's why I have to be honest.
I thought I would find more snapshots of Westworld, and there were plenty, but a lot of them were kind of the same picture.
Well, you know why?
And I know why.
Because it's a bad movie.
It's a terrible movie.
Yeah, And it's just, and this is going to go. This movie is going into the Moviesucktastic book, which we'll talk about after this as well.
Yeah.
But I'm dead set. This is one of those films that everybody praises it. If you go back, not a good film.
Oh yeah, when we get to rate this film, we'll talk about the IMDb score.
Yeah, I'm ready for that.
So,
and also a quick pledge: at no point during this review of the movie will we talk about, compare, or contrast it to the TV show.
Okay.
Not doing it. Don't give a shit.
Well, I as a fan of the TV show, I'm fine with that. Even though it's based off of this film and the book, they're different. They're the same, but very different.
But it's a vast improvement. That's why.
Well, that is correct. So
and
I'm not going to spend time comparing the two because it would be silly.
And I was going to get the book, which is a novelization of the film. The film is not an adaptation of a book. Crichton could not write this as a book, so he sold it as a film. And then a novelization was written of the film. So that doesn't make any sense.
Did he direct this film as well?
Wrote and directed. Oh, yes. This is Office. What? It's
crazy that they allowed him to write and direct.
Well, here's the deal. I mean, this was off the success of the Andromeda Strain, which was based on his novel.
Right.
So he's like, all right, I want to direct. I want to be a filmmaker. So he writes up this, and he directed a couple of things. I think one was a made-for-TV. Might have been Andromeda Strain. I forget if he directed that. But he did a couple of things, and then he's like, yeah, I want to write and direct this film called Westworld. And he shopped it around, and nobody wanted it. Now, the only people that showed any kind of interest was MGM, but they were.
You know how I know nobody wanted it, and it was hard to shop around? Because it came out in January.
Well, that too, sure.
That is when I saw that, because I was looking for my challenge, based on the new format, which we'll talk about later, and I was like, oh, this is released in January. No, I'm not surprised. Not one bit.
Ooh. For
any new listeners, January is where films go to die.
Yes.
Although lately there have been at least a 1 or 2 hits every January now, because studios, they might not know where to put it during the year, and they throw it in January and hope for the best. And every once in a while, a movie makes money, a lot of money.
Yeah, there's after a certain point, they started putting at least one good film in January, but it's a good film that they don't have any faith in.
Exactly.
Like Taken. Taken was a huge January success.
That's right. It was huge. And every Taken sequel after that was purposely released in January. And they tend to do that with Liam Neeson films, like that film The Grey.
Well, let's be fair.
The Commuter, I think all of those were January.
Let's be fair. They put The Grey there because they didn't understand it. Like most audiences who thought it was just going to be another Taken didn't understand it.
Well,
So he went to MGM, and MGM was notorious for not giving like micromanaging productions and pulling stupid shit on creators. Right. So it wasn't a desirable position, but he went there anyway. And they said, "Listen, we're only going to give you like $1 million change for this." So all right,
is that what the budget was?
Yeah, it was like $1 million and change.
Man,
I forget. It's like 1.2, 1.3.
Even in 1973, that's not a lot of money.
No, especially when you're doing a science fiction film. So right from the start, he's fucked.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big time.
Yeah. Now, he's also fucked because he's not a good filmmaker. I still stand by that.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
According to Wiki, the Wiki page, 1.2 million. It's actually a little less.
That was my first guess, but I didn't want to say it without knowing for sure.
Made $10 million though.
Oh, yeah, it did. Honestly, 70s audiences weren't that discerning. I am not a Michael Crichton fan. I've stressed that in the past.
Me neither. I mean, I do still enjoy the first Jurassic Park, but not. It's not for Michael Crichton.
You can like it, but it's not a good film. It's not.
I don't know about that.
Well, oh, the dinosaurs are pretty. Don't get me wrong. But
even for 1993.
And by that point, he learned how to actually direct properly. He stopped using slow motion sequences. but don't get me started on that for this one. But as far as screenplays go, Jurassic Park is a piece of shit. Seriously.
Well, it's a summer popcorn film. I mean,
exactly. So don't call it a good film.
I didn't say it was a good film. I'm not agreeing that it's a bad film.
I say it is. Okay. I like it too. I enjoy it too. I'll watch it again. I like certain aspects of it. Who doesn't like sexy Jeff Goldblum? Everyone likes sexy Jeff Goldblum.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I hear that the next Jurassic Park film is going to bring back Jeff Goldblum, Sam. Oh shit. What the hell is his name? Sam.
Elliot.
Not Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott.
Neil.
Sam Neill and Laura Dern.
I honestly couldn't give a shit. Honestly.
Well, I mean, from a production standpoint, from people throwing money at it, that's a big deal. I think it'll make money just based on that alone.
You know what other franchise brought back people from the original?
What's that?
Indiana Jones. How was the Crystal Skull?
Well, it was awful, but it made a shit ton of money.
It will. Yeah, of course it's going to make money. We're not talking about money here. This isn't.
I hear they're filming the fifth one soon. Like in the next couple of weeks, they're going to start.
I'm sure of what?
Indiana Jones 5.
Oh yeah, I heard about that too. I heard he's getting all pissy about it.
Oh really?
You hear about that?
No.
Oh yeah. Harrison Ford's got all pissy where he's saying like, "Oh, I wish they let it die. I wish instead of having somebody bring back Indiana Jones, I wish they just let it die and like do something else." So really, I don't hear you pitching about it's like the new Han Solo, you fucking whore. Yeah, he's only pissed because he's not knee deep in the Disney money on an Indiana Jones franchise. That's all. Fuck him. Seriously. He's out there hawking the Disney spaceship while they got like the young Han Solo sequel, and he's like, "Oh, I really don't think they should do anything else with that character because that was me." Fuck you.
Well,
never liked him.
I have no problem with Harrison Ford. I've always liked Harrison Ford. I like cranky Harrison Ford.
No, maybe like he and Clint Eastwood should get together and do something.
I think Clint Eastwood's less cranky.
Really?
Yeah, I honestly do.
I saw him yelling at that chair.
I was going to say, if he's not staring at a chair, he seems to be less cranky.
Anyway, we sidetracked. But, so Westworld, $1 million budget, 1.2.
Yep.
They got no budget, and they're doing the science fiction thing with a robot vacation getaway.
Yeah, $1,000 a day.
Right. Can we start with the beginning scene?
Sure.
All right, a lot of these 70s films. Actually, this is Crichton. This isn't the first time Crichton's done this too, or it's not the only time he's done it. He did the same thing with Looker. It starts with a commercial because it's a lot of commercials.
Yeah, right. So the opening of the film, it opens with them interviewing people that have just exited their vacation or tour of the park or being on vacation at the park, and they get interviewed. It's like, how was your stay at the park? I killed 6 people.
Right. Here's what I love about that. The first guy's like, I killed 6 people, all excited, and then they have like a whole like, this is where Crichton gets deep with the philosophical aspect.
Right.
Well, I think they were people. They weren't people. I don't think so. No, they weren't people.
No, I'm sure they weren't real people.
Yes. All right, Crichton, don't get too deep here. Oh, you fucking shadow fuck. So he does that, and then the woman comes up and says, "How did you like Roman World?" He's like, "Oh, what was the best part of that? The men. Yeah. I mean, I was warm and satisfied. All the
she's getting slammed every night.
They should have just condensed it. It's like, how do the men like it? I killed 6 men. How do the women like it? I fucked 6 men. Win-win.
It's a total win-win.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, what I found interesting was that I don't know how far back sci-fi films go with advertising, like futuristic advertising opening them, and I'm wondering if Crichton was actually like one of the first people to really get it going.
Oh, to do that.
And I'm wondering how much of an influence that was on RoboCop.
Oh yeah, yeah. That movie only came out 14 years later.
Yeah, and again, Crichton's not the only person in the 70s to like mock advertising, really.
Right.
But It's curious. I didn't get a chance to research that, but that's something I'm really interested in. Is where does Crichton lay in that whole foundation of science fiction films, mocking the future or satirizing the future through future commercials? I don't know. I just
think about if Michael Crichton was a good director and writer, how he could have pioneered so many films.
That's too fantastical for me.
Too fantastical.
I don't buy it. It's not impossible. Now, another problem I have with Crichton is if you read interviews about this film, one of the interviews he says, and I quote, "I hate science fiction."
Was that just something pretentious he wanted to say?
Everything he says is pretentious, so I'm not worried about it. But when you think about it, I mean, he's not a scientist. He went to med school.
Well, it shows with literally everything he does that he's written and directed about how uninformed of computers and technology he is on. Like, take this film, for instance. You know, when the Yul Brynner character is running around, he sees everything so pixelated. I don't understand how he could see anything at all if that's his actual view of everything.
That's a whole different story. You don't know that story?
No.
Oh, all right. I got to bring up my. I took exclusive notes on this because I'm writing the article for the book, and one thing is about that eye thing. We'll touch on that a little bit later in the show because I'll bring that up and because I want to have specific facts when I talk about it. Yeah, the problem is like I've known in the past that he's not a good sci-fi, but he's famous for being a sci-fi author, and he's done all these sci-fi films. And then you read these interviews for Westworld. It's like, oh, I hate sci-fi. This is supposed to be fantasy, and then. And like there's another part where they're talking about the low budget and he's giving instructions to the people that are doing set designs for the robot triage section.
Oh, right.
And he actually tells them in the notes, says, listen, just make it look like there's a lot of stuff there. It doesn't matter if it's practical.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if it's usable or not. Just make it look like there's stuff there to be used. So he doesn't give a shit about he has no pretense when it comes to making a realistic science. It's really science fantasy. That's where he's going for on it.
Yeah. Well, and it shows. It shows in literally everything he's done.
Well, I think the linchpin moment in the film that really drives home his attitude to the whole thing is where they have the first boardroom scene with the scientists, because there's nothing more riveting in a science fiction film than a boardroom sequence, and they're talking about the sudden trend of problems. And again, it sucks because like Michael Crichton, a shit filmmaker, but he's got all these firsts. Apparently, this is like the first film to ever, or one of the first set times that the idea of a computer virus has been talked about.
Oh yeah, they talked about it in about a third of the way through the film.
Right. Now he didn't. They didn't use the word virus, but they're saying how it seems like this glitch is like carrying over from location to location. So I find it hard to believe that computers would have a disease.
They did refer to it as a disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they were doing that, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize about the virus thing, but I did think it was an interesting statement. And then they go on to talk, and at that point, I was just like, I should be out, but I'm reviewing this, so I'm still obviously in. But when they start talking about, we don't even know how these things work. Machines are making these machines.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah, it's like they're almost as complex as the real human body. It's like machines are making these. You don't know how this shit works. Come on.
The scientists are running it. They say, we don't even know how these things work. I say, all right, no. Michael Crichton doesn't know how these things work, and he doesn't care. So he's putting that in there to explain that he doesn't give a shit how these things work. They just have to work. Now, I was just confirming my suspicions about him, about his background. But he was in med school for a while, but he realized he hated it. He went for English, and he went for anthropology as well. His bachelor's degree is in biological anthropology.
Wow.
So, I mean, he's got a degree in a science, but he's not a scientist, I would hazard to say.
No.
And he really geared towards writing after that. So this isn't like Carl Sagan or Isaac Asimov or a real science fiction writer that actually concerned with science fiction. This guy doesn't know anything about science. He just writes about it and makes shit up.
Yeah.
And that's why it pisses me off, like Jurassic Park and all this shit, and like Looker, Runaway. They made a film version of the other film he did with the guy with the wires in his heads. I forget the name of it, but like all this science fiction shit. It's
yeah.
And he's like,
I'll look at it real quick.
And he's like, I don't like. I hate science fiction. I just I just want to tell a story. Fuck.
I don't care how crazy it is.
Yeah. So that shows. What year? I didn't write it down. Westworld was released in 1973, and the film takes place in the 80s.
Are you thinking of the Terminal Man?
Terminal Man, yes.
Yeah.
Which I actually read the book.
Okay.
Garbage. Yeah. Only Crichton book I've ever read. Garbage.
Garbage.
That's my review. One word.
He's had a ton of his books made into films.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I can't even. We're not doing a retrospective on Crichton.
New.
But what year?
2008.
Please help me out here because I've lost the actual year that Westworld takes place in.
Oh, shit! Did they mention it in the movie?
I don't recall, but I know I read it somewhere.
I can tell you that the TV show takes place in 2052.
Well, yeah, of course. Oh, 1983.
Oh.
1983, yeah. So Crichton rockets us 10 years into the future.
Yeah.
Where the only thing that's changed is that now when they ride hover cars, hover buses with cathedral ceilings, and oh yeah, they perfected human like robots.
Yeah.
Except for the hands.
Except for the hands, you could tell from the hands.
Oh. Just a ham-fisted fucking, just like that bullshit there. Just like, oh, we need a way to be able to tell them apart. So, well, okay, yeah, great. They couldn't perfect the hands. Oh, really? So the human eye, they got down pat.
Yeah.
Yeah, facial expressions, the cadence and tone of dialogue, naturally talking, that kind of stuff. But they couldn't figure out how to do creases in a palm. All right, fuck you, Michael. Seriously, that's the best you can do. That's your big thing. Now, another thing MGM did to him is like he didn't have any choice in actors, so they threw James Brolin, James Brolin and Richard Benjamin at him like 2 weeks before the film started.
Oh,
but I thought they were a perfect match for what they were trying to do in the film. Now, if the screenplay and dialogue had been better, it would have been more effective.
True.
But
True.
I grew up with Richard Benjamin from Love at First Bite.
Love at First Bite.
And Saturday the 14th.
Oh God, Saturday the 14th.
That's where I knew him from growing up. Those are the two films that I recognized him from.
Yeah.
And so him in this, he plays the character he's supposed to play, and he plays it well. But there's still shit fucking dialogue. Where like the only way he can convey that Richard Benjamin's character, what was his dumbass name? John?
No, John was Brolin's character.
Oh, that's right. His dumbass name was Peter.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're running the gamut of great names here, aren't we?
Yeah.
John and Peter. So yeah, so Peter, the way he gets across that Peter's enjoying the park is that he tells John, "I'm really enjoying this park.
This park's so much fun."
Fun.
Yeah, he just got laid.
Is that a machine? Shut up.
Shut up. Just
now
your dick in it.
Yeah. Now, the basic concept is okay. Obviously, because they ran with it with a TV show now, which we're not going to mention.
No.
Now, one thing that I don't get is that they have these three distinct realities. They have Roman world, they have medieval world, and they have Westworld.
Right. And
they're all within a 1 hour horse ride from each other.
Yeah, they're all in the same grounds.
Westworld being in the middle of the desert, I get. Why Roman world and medieval world are there, I don't understand, especially since you'd think in Roman world, every now and then someone complain, I keep hearing gunshots. What the fuck's going on here? That shit carries.
It carries.
And then they got a huge castle for medieval world. No one's seeing that on the horizon from Westworld or Roman world. No, of course not. It's that I don't get. And beginning of the film, the fact that the name of the company was Delos. Right? I'm like, all right, I don't know what that means, but I'm pretty sure it's fucking stupid. Because they could have called it something that made sense. Now, do you know what Delos is?
No.
No, I had to look it up. I'm not pretending to be smart. It's a Greek. Is it Greek? Yeah, it's a Greek island that's steeped in mythology, and at one point it was considered by the Greeks as in Greek mythology to be the birthplace of Apollo and Artemis. So it's basically an island of the gods.
Okay, and they're mimicking that to Westworld and all these other worlds.
Well, that's what we're going to get into with that. Is that like that's something where if you look into that title, it makes sense. If you don't bother to look into that, there's nothing in the film about gods.
True.
There's nothing in there about God. These people are God. Nothing of that. Nothing. There's nothing about anything in this film, except like a subtle play about sex and violence. And when I say subtle, I mean just straight out. There's nothing nuanced. It's like, Roman world, indulge yourself, and fuck people, fuck things,
fuck them,
fuck everything, and then in Westworld it's like, kill everything. And fuck some of the things, but kill all of the things. You don't fuck all the things. You fuck all of the things in Roman world. You kill some of the things in medieval world, and fuck more of the things in medieval world.
You know what I found to be interesting?
What?
Well, I found it interesting that...
Wait, you found something interesting in this film?
I only found it interesting because where are all the guests? Did you notice that there were hardly any, if not any, guests in any of these worlds? Like in medieval world, it was like one guy.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like there's only like a handful of guests in each world because how many robots do they have in each world? Like, what, 24? If there's not a lot. It's not a huge organization.
Right.
If they're like micromanaging all the robots doing stuff and they've only got a crew of 12 people in an airtight room, more on that later.
Wow. Yeah.
Then they're not shipping in thousands of people. So I really feel like that bus of people that was there, if that audience that was returning that they interviewed at the end is any indication of the how many guests are at the facility, I'd say 36 tops, 12 at each location.
Well, here's the thing. I think the reason why there weren't any people is because they didn't have the budget for it. So that's really what it comes down to.
No. What it comes down to is that Michael Crichton didn't have the screenwriting skill to handle multiple characters.
Well, yeah.
Case in point.
Well, he probably was like, well, I can't handle multiple characters. They only gave me this much money. That works great for me because I'm only going to write for like 4 characters tops.
Well, case in point, during the hovercraft ride, while Michael Benjamin keeps asking...
Michael Benjamin?
What fucking Peter? Well,
Richard Benjamin.
Peter keeps asking John questions about his rod.
Right, yeah.
They focus on 2 other flight people. The one guy from Medieval World, the older guy from Medieval World, and then the pudgy, like 8 is enough looking guy from that's also going to Westworld.
Right.
With the glasses.
Yep.
Now, they follow these 2 characters' storylines. The medieval guy ends up getting fucking rammed through with a sword.
Yeah.
We know what happens to the Westworld people. Once they make the pudgy guy sheriff, he's gone.
Yeah, he doesn't come back.
We don't even bother with that storyline. There's not even like a quick 2-second, hey, what's going on here? Bam, 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 bam. No, we don't give a fuck at this point.
Nope.
Because once Crichton pulls the trigger hit on the Man in Black,
the gunslinger.
No, Man in Black. Yeah, Gunslinger. Man in Black's character from the TV show.
Yes.
Fuck.
Gunslinger.
The Gunslinger kills James Brolin.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're good. You got it.
This is some good shit.
What you drinking?
Once he pulls the trigger on that scene, he can't be bothered to follow up any more side stories. He's dedicated himself to a 20 fucking minute long chase sequence.
Yeah, and if you noticed, Peter, Richard Benjamin's character, at least 3 times, he's like, "Yeah, we're done here." It's like, "No, you're not." "Yeah, we're done here." "No, you're not." "Yeah, we're totally done right now." "No, you're not." Well, okay, now we are. It's like, what? I mean, going for the jump scare horror style without any kind of horror or actually being scary at all. But there's at least 3 times where the gunslinger is coming after him, where he thinks, "Yeah, we're done. I'm done with this character. I've taken care of it, and I'm moving on." And each time the gunslinger keeps coming back, his expression doesn't change. He just kind of staringly looks, at the gunslinger. He's like, "Fuck, doing this again?" Like, he didn't say it, but you could tell in his face. He's like, "This is still happening?"
Well, because Michael Crichton's poor screenwriting skills led him to believe that tension would be held more tightly.
They don't even use music to move along those scenes.
Well, no, because he's thinking the tension is built from this long, drawn-out scenes. Now, I was reading a couple of reviews of people's takes on Westworld before I rewatched it, and one person had kind of, on a side note, had said, well, they mentioned the TV show, and said, which abandons the giallo style of the original film. I was like, wait a minute. The one word I would not, giallo, for those who don't know, is a term used for Italian horror films. That comes from the Italian word for yellow, which was the color of the pulp novels that, like, a lot of the horror films that came out at the time were based on it. And giallo signifies a very bloody, violent, gory slasher horror film,
right?
Or at least, and the specific style they shot them in. So when I read that, I'm like, where the fuck did you get that from? Seriously. Then I got into the last 15 minutes of Westworld. I was like, oh, there you go, because his like parts of that whole chase sequence at the end is very typical of like an Argento or Bava or that giallo time period of the 70s, where the sequences is there's no music, there's like running down the hallways and long shots, and then the footsteps going, and then that jump scare at the end after he burns the gunslinger,
right? And
he turns around and he's like walking backwards, and you're like, hey, yeah, Benjamin, turn around. Benjamin, you want to turn around at this point? Benjamin, you have to turn around. And he turns around. That quick jump cut thing that happens, that's kind of like awkward. It doesn't work well. That's straight out of like your typical giallo film.
Yeah, right. And you're right when it's like, it's like, turn around. It's coming. I know it's coming. It's coming. Maybe in 1973, people didn't see it coming, but movies, and we've been watching so many for so long, it's just, you just know it's coming.
Yeah, we're a bit more educated than like screen angles and things like that. True, but I mean, but again, in the 70s is when the giallo stuff was really big,
right? And
so I could see Crichton trying to teach himself how to be a director, and when you're talking to other director types, oh yeah, you got to catch these Italian horror films, and him just like copying it without really knowing how to fucking do it right.
Yeah. I wonder if my kids would like this movie. I mean, it's only rated PG.
Joey, no, Joey. No. There's sex and boobies. No.
It's only rated PG.
I don't know.
Sex and boobies.
Yeah. I mean, just like how bad the writing is. Like Richard Benjamin's character, Peter, it's like handed out. It's like, oh yeah, it's great here. Oh, this antique stuff. Oh, my ex-wife would sure love this. It's like, the manly guy says, your ex-wife, yeah, you're not butch enough. It's like, oh, yeah. It's like James Brolin's only function as a character in the film is to point out through contrast what effeminate wussy Peter is.
Right, like when Peter, when he goes to the bar, he orders a martini with a twist of lemon, dry, please.
Yeah.
And Brolin, he's just
Come
like,
on, really?
And he's like, get him whiskey, he's new here.
Yeah. Goads him into fighting.
Pussy. Yul Brenner, the gunslinger.
Honestly, every time they show that shot of Yul Brenner at one of the bar looking over, I always wanted to cut back to Superman at the bar from Superman 3. What are you looking at?
What are you looking at? And he's flicking peanuts at the mirror or at the bottles on the bar, just making them explode. And when he's on the Statue of Liberty, he's like, I hope you don't expect me to save you. I don't do that anymore.
While her head is like crotch level with him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we reviewed Superman 3.
Yeah, go back and watch that episode. We want to talk about that.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
And, of course, that first gun sequence is the first of Michael Crichton saying, hey, I can do slow motion.
Please don't. Please
you know
don't
what,
do it.
You know what makes action more action-y? If we slow it down really slow. No, Michael, not. Especially when there's only 4 gunshots, Michael. Yeah. Oh, it's horrible. I mean, it's been so long since I watched it, going back and just like, oh, shit, I forgot about that.
And the blood is, and I know it's the time period, but the blood it's like red paint. It's so fake.
Well, if you want to make excuses, you could say, hey, they're robots. It's fake blood. Of course it's going to look different.
But yeah, I guess.
Right. And also, I've read some critiques on the film where they explain away the bad screenwriting.
Oh, really?
They try to get in this like this is where it gets like into like the film's so much deeper when it really isn't. But if you read enough into it, you can make anything deep. Where to say, oh, what's really going on here? It's a play on tropes, because what happens is the Westworld is designed for people based on these cliches they know. And so when they come, the people acting these cliches and the people that are used to these cliches repeat the cliches, and that's why everything's cliche. So no, just Michael Crichton's not a good writer.
No, it's terrible.
It's not a good. It doesn't work that way. And I even read where he was like, oh, hey, this wasn't about how machines are evil. This is just about how people, are extend themselves too far. It's like, no, it's about evil machines.
Evil.
Yeah, it's evil machines. The machines kill everybody? Yeah, no, it's the machines. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was interesting when the machines started to go crazy. They cut to the control room where they have the power grid, and again, it's just another example of Crichton not knowing how shit works. They're like, cut the power. It's like, cut the power. It's like, yeah, cut the power, and it's like they're gonna go on battery. It's like, okay. And it's like, well, how long can they last? Some an hour, some 12 hours. It's like, well, how do you not know which ones last?
Sir, if we don't cut the power, are they still running on batteries? Well, yeah. There's no wire sticking out of them. Then let's not cut the fucking power, sir. How about that?
Yeah, we're trapped in here now.
What the fuck? I mean,
it's like, let's get these doors open before we suffocate.
So you're telling me that, by the way, this entire Westworld experience, or all of them, definitely not OSHA approved.
No.
They're not even wearing seatbelts on the fucking hovercraft.
Nope.
No. And the smoking.
Smoking. Lots of smoking.
But yeah. But they have these worlds where robots are running around with guns and swords.
Right.
And they don't have a fail-safe or a kill switch that'll just turn off the robots? Yeah. No one thought of this?
Yeah. Well, no.
There wasn't like... Maybe
they
needed...
Well, I like when they're having their little group meeting, and they're noticing that these robots are starting to malfunction in multiple parks. And the one scientist is like, we should shut down for a month. And everyone's like, oh, well, let's not get rash. Let's not go ahead and do that.
It's just a boating accident. Relax there, guys.
And then the other scientist is, well, we should do some tests and blah, 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 this and this. And the other one's like, we'll be able to protect the guests if something goes wrong. It'll be fine. And then they cut away to the next scene. It's like, shit.
So how are they planning to protect him if they don't have this in place?
Right. Like, as soon as the guy from Medieval Times over there gets stabbed right in the gut, they're like, cut the power, cut the power. And it's like, it's not working, sir. Shit. We've cut the power. We can't get out now.
Oh, that's right. They're on batteries.
Like, even their guns are on batteries. Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know, man.
Then how is it shooting?
I don't know. It's...
What is it? All right. Hey, now let's boil down to one of the big logic problems of this fucking film. Is that, and they try to explain. Michael Crichton tries to take time out to explain it, so it makes sense, which he doesn't do well.
No.
Because they're like, because Benjamin's like, oh, what if could I shoot a human with this?
Right, and Josh Brolin's character, John, is like...
James Brolin.
James Brolin. James Brolin.
You said Josh.
Oh, I said his son's name?
Yeah, I've been...
Infinitely a better actor.
The reason I keep messing up his last name is that I keep trying to not fuck up his first name because I want to say Josh.
And I did.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, shoot me.
It's like, come on, shoot me. And then Peter, Richard Benjamin's character, does, and he says the guns aren't allowed to shoot at anything that has a body temperature.
Hey, yeah, warm heat signature.
So the thing of it is, so all these robots must be cold to the touch. So when you have sex with one, it must feel like you're fucking a robot. Right. So which doesn't make, they've got to be warm. Makes no sense. They should be throwing off the same body heat. The TV show explains it better. We're not talking about it, but I'm just saying that's what they do. Now, what that also means, though, is that there's nothing preventing someone from shooting the gun, as they show with the Eight Is Enough guy. Yeah. When he shoots through the mirror. So that means they're protecting the other guests from being shot point blank with a gun, but they're not protecting them from ricochets or flying debris that crash in. They're in the bar to one time, and James Brolin says, "Hey, you can't get hurt here." And it's like, yes, you can. What do you mean you can't get shot here? What do you mean you can't get hurt here? Yeah, you could go over to the mountains and fall and die. You could slice your neck out of fucking pane of glass during a barroom brawl. What are you fucking talking about? I know. Like when they're going outside and they're walking and there's a big piece of plywood with a huge hole in the ground. I don't know if you noticed that. They're walking through the town, and it's just like, obviously it's just leftover construction from when they built the set, and they're like, just throw a piece of fucking plywood on it. It's not a big deal. That's like Michael Crichton. Just throw something on there so no one falls in and dies. But there's a big enough hole or opening where if either one of them tripped, yeah, they're falling in that thing, and they're getting hurt. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, even from a film perspective where they're in the movie, and it's like, they could just fall right there and die. It's like, it was a really big hole in the ground. Right. Now, so the question is, how can the robots shoot? Do they have the same kind of guns? Right. Now, apparently in the novelization, they explain it, because in the novelization, they add a scene where the gunslinger takes off the sensor from his gun. Oh, okay. Which doesn't explain it to me, because if you can do it that easily, then that's not fucking safe. No. Right. Now, and he's obviously shooting bullets because he kills people. Right. So if they're shooting bullets, why would the gun have a fucking battery on it? That makes no sense. What? None. Yeah. I mean, I guess they couldn't have him run out of bullets? What the fuck? Michael. Well, he's dead, so. Whatever. I looked him up because I was like, he's dead, right? And I was like, yeah, he died. The dude was 6'9". Yeah, no, he was very tall. Just gigantic person. I saw one interview and he's like ducking under door frames and stuff. Yeah, the guy was freakishly tall, too tall to live, in my opinion. Wow. Oh no! And seriously, anything over 6'5" is just inhuman. Sorry, inhuman. I can't handle it. No. People shouldn't be taller than me. I don't like it. You don't like it. Got it. No. Now, see, it's like things like that make me realize how bad short people have it.
Because they got to deal with that shit all the time. I only have to deal with it like on a freak occurrence where, oh shit, this guy's like 6'7". You know, short people are just like, oh, I walk in a room, oh great, everybody's fucking large. So I commiserate, I do.
Yeah.
So we've already pointed out the flaws in the guns in Westworld, right?
Right.
Let's talk about medieval land. They're throwing around fucking swords and like
Did you notice a bunch of those swords were bent?
Oh yeah,
It's like made out of like aluminum.
Yeah, we don't have a budget for a straightener. Just fucking keep filming. Are you sure it looks kind of bent? Keep rolling. But it's like, all right. So how are you making sure that one of the guests can't stab another guest? Or how was that? Let's not worry. It's a minor character. We don't have to worry about that. We're just going to run them through at the end, so don't worry about it.
Stupid.
Makes no sense.
It made zero sense. And again, that dude was the only character in that storyline. There was like he's the only one on vacation. One guy
that they followed. I mean, well, look at this.
Again, there's no budget to follow more people, but he's walking through areas where there's no people.
Again, I'm basing it off the fact that when they first get off the hover car shuttle and get into the carriers to take them to their location, their color-coded trams, I believe they fitted 8 people to a tram, I think 12 people to a tram.
Okay.
I think it was 3 people long, and I think it was 4 rows of seats. And now I only Westworld tram going down that tunnel. So I'm deducing that for every visit, they only have 12 guests per Delos location.
I guess. I mean, at $1,000 a day, I mean, the place is making, it's basically making $500,000 every 10 days ish.
And I'm sure within the course of 10 years, they've really figured out how to do a low cost maintenance on lifelike human robots. Really, it's even great when they show the triage center and they're like, oh yeah, just put a motherboard here and run some wires and then tape the wires to his head. No special effects to show him going in skin. We can't afford that.
Nope.
Just use clear tape so you can see that they're just taped to the head and not actually inserted or anything. Because why not?
There was that one scene where they're fixing. The one scientist is walking through. Okay, what's wrong here? And then they just like, oh, I think blah 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 is happening. And it's like, oh yeah, this one here, we might have to cut it open. No, you need to get clearance for that first. You know that, right?
Clearance.
Make sure you get clearance.
It's weird how Creighton always wants to drill into the technical, like the behind the scenes aspects, but he never actually wants to like drill into a logical point of view.
Right.
It's like, where are we doing all this complex computer work and robotics on? Oh, the hallway.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't have to be a clean area. Like what you use when you make most electronics, and it's in a 100%.
Oh, they were wearing
clean,
the hats.
Free room.
They had the hats on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I keep calling it a triage center, because every time they show that room, it's like, oh, this looks like a hospital when the rooms are all full and they just have patients in the aisles.
Yeah, maybe we can fit the whatever model motherboard that guy was saying. Well, I don't know if it's going to fit in here. Well, can you push the rest of it up into the cavity and make room? It's like, what? Is that how you do that?
They're on a tighter budget than a film production.
Yeah. So you're just going to jam it in there and close it up and hope for the best? Is that what you're doing?
That's how I do my computer work. You know that. And speaking of like the whole background thing with just put things around and weapons not making sense. I'm not the only person to point this out, obviously. But my one of the favorite parts in the end is when Richard Benjamin goes into the robotics room and stumbles upon what you'd have in every robotics room is a nice flight of acids.
Yeah, it's like, why do we have so much acid in different kinds? Like,
it's not even. I feel like it would have been better if he just stumbled upon a jar that was labeled like acid. But like, no, like somebody said, it makes more sense if he stumbles upon a tray of like 8 or 9 acids and he goes through them and finds the one that's harmful. Because because when you're doing serious robotics work, you need a vast array of acids.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's like, what are they even using it for?
Apparently, they're not using it to douse the robots with it, because that shit doesn't work.
Nope.
No, that's a bad thing.
Oh my god. Tired.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. This is one of those films. This is like Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, terrible.
It's one of those films where the world just kind of accepted as a classic. But if you go back and actually look at it, it's like, this is not a classic.
No.
This is just a piece of shit.
It's fucking terrible.
I mean, if you grew up with it, you can enjoy it. I had some kind of fun watching it. There's some scenes. Again, I like Richard Benjamin and James Brolin. I think they were fine. All the stuff that people talk about, well, it's about, man and machine and morality and all the things that they made the TV show out of. In this, it's like, yeah, you can read into that if you want, but that was not intended. All was intended was that robots go amok and kill people.
Yeah,
there was no, and again, this is why I don't like Jurassic Park. Like it's almost like fucking like Night of the Living Dead bullshit, where it's like, oh yeah, the morality of bringing a creature into existence and playing God. No, you don't give a fuck about any of that.
No.
You
just
don't.
Watch Night of the Day of the Dawn of the Day. Just watch that instead.
But the whole Jurassic Park. It's about the Jurassic Park answers the age-old question: what would happen if we cloned dinosaurs and they started eating us? Westworld is the exact same thing, except it's the age-old question of what if we made robots and they started killing us? Nothing new.
Nope.
Nothing deep. No real fucking philosophy going on. It's just a shallow patina philosophy to fool you into thinking the film has something more in mind, instead of, oh, I'm sorry, and I forgot to follow up with you on the special effects with the POV, robot POV.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I didn't look up the specific numbers because I got too busy talking about it. Here's basically what happened. Creighton says, hey, I want to show POV of the robots like from a digital viewpoint. I don't want to do like a film kind of special effect. I want to do a digital special effect. Now, at this point, they didn't do computer graphic special effects.
No.
Didn't exist. Everything was like film-based. So he goes around to these companies and said, who can do what I want? So what do you want to do? I want the robot to see a computerized version of the world. And the one company says, yeah, we can do it for $100,000. He was like, I can't afford that. So he goes to other companies, say, yeah, we can do it for like maybe $30,000, $40,000. I forget, something a bit lower, maybe $60,000 tops. He said, all right, I'll go with you. And it took them a monstrous amount of time. It was like for every 2 weeks of computer work, they were able to create like 3 seconds.
Wow.
And then when you see it on the screen, it's like, oh, digitized 8-bit. Okay. And so the problem I have with it is he's given credit for, Michael Creighton made the first film to ever have CGI special effects. when what it should be is, he's the first director to demand CGI special effects for something that didn't need it because it doesn't fucking mean anything in the first place. It is a cheap-ass dumb effect, and they could have done it just as well if they even animated the fucking thing, because it's stupid.
Yeah, very stupid. And the thing is, when you're seeing it from the robot's point of view, you don't... I don't know. I guess they're trying to say that it can decipher better what we're seeing on screen, and it can actually see and decipher it better. But if you're basing that on the viewer of what they're seeing, you're not seeing anything. It's just a big pile of mush.
And this explains why he has no clue how science works at all.
No.
Because a science-based filmmaker could have easily deduced after going to the first and second special effects companies that, hey, you know what? This would be easier to do just in film-based special effects.
Yeah, well, if they just did an overlay of what he was seeing and had like a HUD system where it had like numbers, scrolling or moving up and down, and maybe a crosshair or anything like that, like a scope of some kind, would have worked better than what they ended up doing.
Well, yeah, with film, but in a film-based, not CGI.
Correct.
So basically you have this non-scientific background guy making a sci-fi film, and he goes to actual science people, computer people, and says, hey, I want to do this. And they're like, yeah, we can't do that. and if we do it, it's going to be monstrously expensive. And he's like, well, I don't know why. Why? Do it.
I got 1.2 million.
Dude, for that money, he could have paid a real screenwriter.
Ooh. Ouch.
Eh.
Burn.
Fucking,
as my sons say, burn.
Speaking of burns.
Excellent.
I don't know if I have much else to add to this. Obviously, the Westworld sequel that made for TV, Future World, was much worse than this.
Yeah, it came out 3 years later.
And then there was a short-lived TV show that was like 8 episodes, I think. I can't even find a copy of that.
I didn't even know they did a TV show other than the one they're doing now.
Me neither. And apparently, nostalgia only runs so far with the Crichton audience because no one's bothered to fucking dig this shit up. Wow. So I couldn't find it. And we know they rebooted it eventually for Westworld. And the thing with the book, I mentioned it, but I got sidetracked. I wanted to get the novelization to read it because I found out they changed some things. I was like, I'm curious, is it an improvement on the film? It's not available on Kindle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it available anywhere?
All Crichton shit is like fucking 80 printings. Westworld, you have to buy the original paperback that came out. So I didn't feel like shelling out $80 for a paperback.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So that's not available on Kindle.
That's dumb.
Yeah, and I didn't have time to do a library search. And honestly, I doubt a library's got a copy of fucking vintage Westworld. If they did, somebody stole it already.
I can find out for you.
Don't bother. I'm annoyed by the whole thing. If you find it, it's gonna piss me off. So please don't.
Well, now I gotta look.
Now you have to look. All right.
Of course I gotta look.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm gonna get an IMDb and we can check out what their score is. Because you said you had something to talk about the IMDb score of Westworld.
Well, I don't have anything to talk about. I know we're going to talk about it because you always do the demographics. Well, no, I'm basically gonna get out how high the score is. Essentially,
7.
That's very high.
Fuck that. No. That will not do. What do you think?
Oh, this?
Yeah.
It's a 5 at best.
I would definitely not go any lower than 5.
Yeah, no, this is a solid 5. It's very average.
It's very formulaic. It's extremely formulaic. Did I mention that the entire third act is just a chase sequence?
Yeah.
You
didn't mention it, but I know.
Oh, also, let's not forget, too, that during that entire barroom sequence, they showed robots over and over again drinking alcohol.
Right.
But then when he finds the woman in the medieval land and he feeds her water and she short circuits because she's a robot.
No, it makes no fucking sense.
Now, what's going on there, Michael? As the scientist said, we don't even know how these things work.
Machines are making these things.
And this is why Looker is my favorite Michael Crichton film.
She's a looker.
And dude, so there's like 3 slow motion sequences, like 3, 4,
at least that many.
Like I think 4 altogether. And if you think his action sequences get better, I fast forward in my mind to Looker and the action sequence in the labs,
right,
with Albert Finney, where he's punching him and he's like flying through the glass window. Oh.
This is terrible.
I have to go back and watch Runaways to see if that has better action sequences. I honestly don't think.
Well, isn't there a whole scene like at the end of the movie that's in slow motion, like right before credits roll?
In Looker?
No, in Runaway.
I don't recall.
Like Tom Selleck, I think he's kissing the girl while it's raining like sparks or something on them, and it's in complete slow motion.
That's not right, but I don't think he actually throws a punch at anybody in the film.
No, I don't think so.
I think it's all little robots and subterfuge.
Yeah, well, actually, in Runaway, there's a lot of scenes that are sped up because the robots are supposed to be moving fast, and
he switched gears,
create tension. But I'm pretty sure the end of that movie has Tom Selleck kissing the girl with either rain or sparks or something raining down on them in slow motion.
The most credit I'll give Michael Crichton is for being one of the few people to actually make a boring time travel film.
Oh, right. Did he write and direct that too?
It's based on his novels.
Paul Walker was in that, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe he starred in that.
Well, I've got IMDb up right now. So
I have it up right now too.
Oh, look! What did you find out about Westworld, the novel?
Timeline. There was a video game timeline. Jesus.
He just wrote the novel. He didn't do anything with the book, with the movie. Richard Donner directed. Michael Crichton was credited with the novel. But Jeff McGuire wrote the screenplay with somebody else. Jeff McGuire, nothing really there.
Do you want to do the demographics and the IMDb or?
Oh yeah, let me go back and do that.
And you asked me if I found out anything with what?
Westworld novel in the libraries. I thought you were looking.
Oh yeah, no, they don't have it. And that's 80. That's 83 buildings. They don't have it.
Vintage paperback. The lowest price was like $50 to $80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy. Because you would think that they would have even just an old copy lying around, but I guess if it's worth money or it's out of print, they might just put that in.
See,
they might just put it in storage.
This is one of those films where the demographics are so skewed because everybody's just been brainwashed to consider it a classic.
Yeah, no, I see that. I see that with the
across the board. It's the ratings go from 6.8 to 7.3 averages. There's no skew in any demographic for this film. It's all between 6.8 and 7.3. Vast majority of the ratings are 7 stars. You've only got a handful out of everything for anything below a 5. It's pathetic.
Pathetic.
Again, it's like no one's really watching this film anymore. No one cares. But every now and then it comes back. Westworld. Oh yeah, that was a good film. Let me rate that. No, it wasn't.
What a shitty movie.
Now, may I do the honors of explaining the new system since it was my idea?
Of course.
All right, so we're doing a new format of the show. The previous format is that I would challenge Joey to a movie, and with the intentions of hurting him, and then afterwards he would challenge me. And I'm not going back to the previous, like what we did in the past, but just the previous incarnation of our structure.
Right.
And the challenges had to be linked in some way that we chose, either by an actor or director, or theme music, certain aspect.
It could be anything. If it made you think of another film, that counted.
Exactly. As long as there was a link between the two. As tenuous as it was, that would work. So since I'm working on the Moviesucktastic book now, which I'm hoping to have completed before the end of the year, I got myself on a tight schedule on this. I'm finally fucking forcing this fucking one out.
And I get to contribute, which is nice.
Well, obviously, you've already contributed on all of these. Don't. It's not even.
I know.
But so what's happening is.
But I couldn't ask for a better editor. Let's put it that way.
Or I don't know who you're talking about.
Talking about you.
You've been a better writer, it would be me. But I mean,
well, no. If I write something for the book, I trust you to edit it.
We'll talk.
We'll talk. Okay.
No.
Wow.
So, and the structure of the book, I want to go to a variety of films, and the best idea I have is I want to try to focus on one film for a year. So what we're starting to do with the show, as of the 300th episode, is that we're only going to be reviewing films that were released in our lifetime. Now, since I'm a few years older than Joey, there's a little bit of overlap, so we're going to start at 1973, which is Westworld.
That's right.
So the only criteria for our challenge is that, and also this is also a matter of cleaning house, because every now and then we'll talk about a film, go, oh, we should have reviewed that. Oh, we should review that. We never do. So fuck it. We're cleaning house. So we're moving from 73 forward.
Right.
And the only criteria is the other person has to challenge a film from either 70 from that year, or if they feel that that year has been exhausted and there's no more films worthy of reviewing as far as being bad. And I think it has to be criteria. Let's not review any good films from these years. Let's stick to bad films.
Oh, of course.
I mean,
Well, that's our show. I mean, it would be silly to do anything otherwise.
Well, every now and then we review a film that we like or is good.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, for the sake of the book series coming out and everything else. So we started with 1973. I have challenged Joey to Westworld. We've watched Westworld. Joey has two options. He can look through 1973 and say, hey, here's another film that we should have reviewed. Let's review that.
Right.
If there's nothing else in that year, he says, okay, that year is officially done. He can officially close the book on it. I have no say in the matter. And we move on to the next year.
That is correct.
Right now, we've just finished Westworld, 1973, the year I was born. When did Westworld come out? You said January?
It came out January of 1973. But then the wiki page says it came out November of 1973. But I'm getting that it came out in January of 73 from my favorite website, The Numbers.
That might have been a premiere event.
Well, it did have a Roadhouse. Like, I'm looking at it here. Here are according to IMDb, the 3 United States releases were August 73, which is the Roadhouse opening, October 1973, which is the Los Angeles, California premiere, and then the November 1973, which is the New York City premiere. Now,
I would go by that.
The Numbers is saying that this movie came out January. It says January 1st. There's a whole bunch of films that say January 1st, 1973.
I got a feeling that's just based on where they're getting their information from.
Maybe.
And they're just putting it the first of the year. Yeah. I would go with IMDb on that one. That's good, because that means that this film actually came out after I was born, so there's no awkwardness there. We're sticking closer to my idea of films within our lifetime.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, my challenge to you.
Yes.
Stays in 1973.
I had a feeling. There's still a couple of films in 73.
There's plenty of bad films in 73. I looked at 74. A lot less bad films in 74. At least I thought so when I looked at the list. The film that I'm challenging you to comes out before, your birthday. So. Damn.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm okay with that.
That's fine. That's good.
We'll round down.
We're staying within the year right now.
Yes.
Okay. And there's plenty of movies you could still challenge me to in 1973. So after my challenge to you, if you want to stay there, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's put it that way.
Uh-huh.
All right. So it came out February 1973.
Give me a hint.
It deals with athletics.
Athletics.
I can give you an actor.
Give me an actor.
Tim Conway.
Oh shit! Disney film?
Disney movie.
You're doing that? That's weird. Okay. Huh. You're taking that route.
Why is it weird?
I don't know, because again, like kids films and comedies, I always feel like it's harder to review.
I wouldn't say this is a kids film. I mean, I enjoyed it as a kid, but as an adult, I've seen it as an adult, and it's pretty fucking awful.
Now, are we talking about The World's Greatest Athlete?
We are talking about The World's Greatest Athlete.
I saw that as a child on like the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Or even, before the Disney Channel. Back in the either late 70s or early 80s, Disney would actually show primetime movies.
Right.
It was like the Disney.
It was all like on ABC, which they own ABC, so that's where we realistically saw that stuff.
What's his face? The asshole that ran Disney at the time would come out and actually introduce the movies.
Oh, not Eisner.
Yeah, Eisner.
Eisner?
It was Eisner.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Bill Eichner? No, Eisner. Bill Eisner.
Let me see if I recognize him by his face. Yeah, that's him. He was always bald. He would come out there. He would come out. He would introduce the film. He'd say, on Disney Presents tonight, or whatever it was called, and they would show Disney films. And I saw a lot of Disney films that were released earlier from that thing. And this is before Disney. This is before cable and all that shit. So
right.
Yeah, I remember before cable watching The World's Greatest Athlete, and then I remember seeing it again on the Disney Channel later.
Yeah, and I generally when I came up with this decision because I was thinking of another film and I decided against it. Yeah.
Hang on. That's Jan Michael Vincent, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and he just died.
I'm not laughing at the death part. All I remember from that film, honestly, dead serious, is that there's a scene where Tim Conway is in a woman's purse.
Yeah.
That's all I remember. It's all I need to remember.
As a kid, one of the scenes that I remember the most is when John Amos goes to Africa to find this athlete, and Jan Michael Vincent is racing a cheetah and winning. Because if cheetahs famously can go upwards of 70 miles an hour, and Jan Michael Vincent is like blowing past this cheetah, and it's horrible.
Don't you love it?
Don't you love it? Blue screen, or green screen. No, blue screen is what they used back then. Where he's superimposed over the video. It's just really bad.
Don't you love it when sports agents go to Africa, they're trying to find an athlete, and they find a white guy?
That was the other thing. I'm like, John Amos goes to Africa and comes back with a white guy.
So you sure you got on the right plane?
But yeah, I mean I mean it's kid friendly, but kids film. Yeah, I saw it as a kid, but if I showed my kids this movie, they would just walk out of the room. They would hate it.
I am all for this. I really like the idea. Again, the more I think about it, early Disney films have a lot to explain for.
They're really fucking bad.
So I'm embracing this challenge, and I'm glad you challenged it.
Good.
I might even have it already. Hold on. There is a good chance. I'm going to check it right now.
I know I don't have it. I have to go get it.
There's like a 75 to 80% chance that I already have a copy of this film.
Oh boy.
Hold on.
Has it ever been released Blu-ray? Or are we talking DVD?
Shit. I do not have it.
Oh, I didn't even check to see if this is something we could get.
All right, well,
yeah, it's available.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, you can get it. It's DVD, but it's available.
I could have sworn I did have it, but apparently I don't. So, damn. And I'm actually slowly trying to get some of these shitty Disney films that I grew up with, including like the Herbie ones and the $1 Million Duck.
Bug. What was it? $1 Million?
$1 Million Duck.
Oh yeah.
The duck that lays the golden eggs. I remember I actually got in trouble and got punished while that was on, and I was not allowed to see the second half of it because I had done something bad.
Oh, you were a bad boy.
I was a bad boy, and I was sent to my room, and I deserved it. I'll admit that.
I bet you did. Well, what's on tap tonight? What you drinking?
Oh, it's my daughter picked it out. It's bone cracker bourbon.
Okay, any good? Smooth or
54%?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a kick to it.
Yeah.
Right here. Oh yeah, it burns. I like it.
Burns. You like it?
Bone Snapper. Sorry, Bone Snapper bourbon. Yeah. Yeah, she went to this liquor store and she's like pointing things out to me. So you should get that. You should get that. Like, Lilith, that's 34% alcohol. That's not. No.
It's no good.
Anything under 45, just ignore, please. I'm a busy guy. I don't have time for 34%.
That's right. It won't have its intended impact.
Oh, I want to share a very brief social media story. Okay. It's film related.
Oh, okay.
It's been a long time since I've actually been active on like Facebook and things like that.
I don't really do that shit anymore.
I'm starting to do it a little bit. I'm trying to go on like maybe like 15 minutes a day and just like check in with some people I know because I've got a lot of old friends on there.
You know what? Well, I go on and I look around, but then I find myself, and I'll just say this and let you continue your story. I'll find myself, I'll get like worked up about something, right? Or something happens.
That's me on Twitter.
Well, yeah, something happens and I go on there and I start to actually type it, and then I just delete it and go, I don't fucking care. I swear to God, it's just I've written the entire thing. Yeah. I've proofread it so I don't look like a moron, and I was like, it's like I could post this, but you know what? I've already lost interest.
That's why I've engineered my Facebook where it's just people I agree with. Twitter's where I get in fights and stuff.
Yeah.
Facebook's where I just go to have fun. So ironically, I go into Facebook for like the first time in a while, and I belong to some of these film groups because someone else recommended to them. So I go in there, but I don't really do anything. And I don't normally do this stuff, but someone had put one of those posts where they say, list something.
Oh.
So they said, list the name of a film that many people were traumatized by, but that when you watch, this is a horror film group, by the way.
Okay.
It said list a film that everybody else was traumatized by, but when you watched it, you weren't fazed at all. So I put Schindler's List.
Oh.
Didn't go over well.
But that didn't go over well, yeah.
No.
You would have had less of a reaction if you put a Serbian film.
I was affected by Serbian film. I thought Holly was the one who was like, meh. So, all right, calm down.
Yeah.
And drink it in a bit.
Newborn porn? Really?
Yeah.
That really? Newborn porn?
Yeah.
Stop.
All right.
Stop it now.
Stop trying to impress me, dear. You know, you've already won me over. But it was the first thing that came to mind. It was like, yeah. And no one challenged me on it, but I got a lot of frowny faces. And I was like, all right, tell me why I'm wrong, and then we'll have a discussion. But otherwise, I don't give a shit.
Schindler's List.
And in other news, did you know that? So you know that DC decided to start their own streaming channel.
Yes, I've seen the first episode for Swamp Thing.
Guess what?
What?
They canceled it.
I'm sorry. What?
They already canceled it. It was online today. Already canceled.
How many episodes have they filmed? Is
no
it
idea.
Just the pilot? It can't be. I thought they did an entire season.
All I know is they already said, yep, it's canceled.
What the fuck? Did you watch the first episode yet?
Not yet. I was waiting for the weekend.
It's not a cancelable episode. It's like you don't watch that episode and go, this should get canceled.
Apparently, they just canceled it. Fucking, can DC do anything else to shoot themselves in the fucking foot?
What the shit, man?
I'm still reeling from the fact that Disney bought Marvel and then pulled all the Marvel superhero shows off of Netflix.
And anywhere else.
4? Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
Like Netflix had like 4 of them, right?
Netflix had, it had...
shitload.
It had The Punisher. It had...
Luke Cage.
The Luke Cage, the Iron Fist, Iron Fist, and the Defenders, which is like Punisher, Iron Fist, Luke Cage. Like it's kind of like an Avengers type of
and
show.
Jessica Jones was a
Jessica
show too.
Jones, so that's 5.
Yeah, so they yanked them all, right?
Yeah.
So DC's like, hey, we have to get on this TV thing. It's like, and Disney just pulled all of these superhero shows off of Netflix. Now there's a huge vacuum in Netflix for these shows that everybody wanted to see. What should we do? And some genius at DC said, hey, I know. Let's start our own streaming service.
Yeah. And it's like $10 or $15 a month. And it's like, no.
For what? Oh, you can read free comic books too. I can do that at the comic store. What the fuck? Yeah. Just talk about just like the wrong fuck. And I was getting all hopeful because the Joker trailer looks awesome.
Yeah.
And they're actually doing a Suicide Squad 2, which I'm all for.
Well, James Gunn is doing it.
Yeah, even better.
And he has to do that. He's contractually obliged to do that before Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So, because they rehired him back for Guardians. And
I didn't hear that.
He's back for Guardians 3, but he has to do Suicide Squad. It's called The Suicide Squad. He's got to do that first, writing and directing. Which
what
I
was
believe.
The reason?
Oh, Disney is basically like, we forgive you. We see that you're trying to be a better person, and we have faith in the way you make movies, and we are giving you a second chance. So from a political standpoint and a business standpoint, I could already tell that it's like, listen, we have to fire him. We could let it blow over, and if he behaves himself, and apologizes, we can hire him back later. We just won't hire anyone to do the Guardians film we'll just wait. But I guess they did not count on Warner Brothers going, yeah, we don't fucking care what you tweeted about. Save Suicide Squad, please. Because then they signed him to write and direct Suicide Squad, which they're ready to start filming. And when he's done with that, he can get to work on Guardians 3.
I cannot wait until he's at a point in his career where he doesn't give a shit anymore, and he just like tears fucking Disney a new one.
Yeah.
And I've seen like interviews with him when he was filming Slither.
Right.
He'll do it. Once he gets to the point where he's tired of making films, he'll do it.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
I'm a huge fan of his.
Yeah, he's great. And so he's doing The Suicide Squad. They're calling it that. And they're doing a Birds of Prey film, which is I believe it's called Birds of Prey. I'll look it up super quick. But
Who's that?
It's
Hey, talk about that real quick. I gotta let a stupid cat into my office.
Okay. I'm just going to find out and make sure that's the title of it. Yeah, Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Where that is going to be mostly an all-girl cast. Where it's going to be Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Oh, Scott's back. So basically, the film is called Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. So it's a buddy movie, or it's kind of like a Justice League type film with all these female like superheroes. So you have Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Huntress, Ewan McGregor is playing Black Mask, Janice Smollett Bell is playing Black Canary.
Black Mask from like the DC what was it called? That alternate universe they had, Black Mask?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I liked the Black Mask. I remember reading that. What was it called? It was the Impact universe.
That's right.
Holy shit! I liked it. Black Mask was an interesting concept, and you can run a bunch of different directions with that.
Oh,
Ewan McGregor's playing him.
He's playing Black Mask. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, I'm in.
Then you've got Gracie Santo as scantily clad Crystal. Ellie Watson as Roller Derby. Oh, she's just an extra. Never mind. But those are the main characters, and it's Birds of Prey, and it looks like there's a 20-second clip for that.
Oh, I think that was an actual comic books line.
Wait, did this? It's a 20-second clip. Here. Let's pull this over here.
Yeah, it was a comic book series. Yeah, I thought it sounded familiar. It was in 2002. No, it's not 2002.
It's interesting.
We have 3 days to look.
What was the original one? 96. 96. That's why I recognize it. That was my comic book days.
That was an interesting clip where it just says "See you soon."
Yeah, Commissioner Gordon's crippled daughter's in it too.
Oh, okay. Now,
in the comic book, she was.
Yeah, if I go over to Box Office Mojo, I believe it has a release date. I think it's tentative, but I think they have one.
All right. Speaking of new trailers that have come out recently.
Yeah.
While you're looking that up, have you seen the trailer for the new Rambo film?
Yeah, I have. Last Blood.
Oh, fucking jeez.
It looks so bad that it could be great.
The last one was so good, though.
It was done 11 years ago, though.
It was so good. Was that 11 years ago?
Came out in 08. Yeah.
11? No.
Yeah, dude, it came out in 08. Maybe it even came out in 06, but I'm pretty sure it came out in 08.
God, I'm so fucking old. 10 years has passed since that. That was so good, though. They wrapped it all up nicely. It was violent as shit. He went home.
There's a scene in there where he's using that cannon gun, and there's like chunks of people hanging off of it.
Oh, when I first saw that scene, like when he first turns it around and the people in the Jeep,
yeah,
and explodes them like blood sausages. I rewound that 5 times. I was like, "Fuck, this is awesome."
Well, I brought the work print to your house which was the extended cut. You have to get the extended cut to see what we saw in that work print. Because the theatrical cut is way tamer.
I will not watch the theatrical cut.
No.
There's no need to. But everything about it was right. Like, just like where they had the character at that point, the whole thing with the like doctors across borders bullshit, and like everything. That movie was just spot on. And it's like, oh, I know, let's wrap it up with a drug cartel attacking him on his farm. What? And Rambo might be winning the fight against the drug cartel. I apologize, but Sylvester Stallone is losing the fight against whatever he did to his face.
Oh, serious Botox going on.
What? It's just like everything's shifting, and it's just like, old age has caught up to all of his plastic surgery, and said, fuck this noise, and just started. He looked better when he was pretending to be a boxer. Really,
the Birds of Prey film comes out February of 2020, so it is not that far away.
You know what?
We're talking like 8 months.
All it took was Wonder Woman to be successful for them to say, "Hey, let's start doing female superheroes."
Oh yeah. That's
all it took, and I didn't even like Wonder Woman.
I know you didn't.
I don't hate it. I just thought it was a boring film. I just thought it was like a remake of Captain America. The same steps were there, nothing new.
Well, that's interesting.
It was pretty.
The new Godzilla film, King of the Monsters, is out.
Well, hang on.
Yeah.
Let them fight.
It's getting pretty good reviews, and because I looked ahead to where Birds of Prey is being released. Godzilla vs. Kong comes out March 2020.
Nice. So they are doing it. You saw Skull Island, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
In the end,
I watched the end credit. Yes, I did.
Right, where they show like all the Godzilla and Mothra and stuff, and they set up like a whole like their own universe of fighting giant monsters.
Yeah.
I've been telling people that, because everybody, like the person at work that actually liked that one, and I was like, yeah, well, it's tied in with Godzilla already because of the cutscene at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, what cutscene? So you didn't see the cutscene? You got to go back and rewatch that. They set up a whole fucking universe. It's great.
Yeah.
And I was worried that they weren't going to do it. I've honestly I've ignored everything about this Godzilla film because I'm done with the Godzilla stuff.
Yeah.
But I get a warm feeling inside knowing that they're following through with that. Now, is Loki going to be in this one or the next one, or?
I'm assuming John Hiddleston. John, it's something Hiddleston.
Yeah, it's called. I pronounce it Loki.
Loki. I assume he might be in that Godzilla vs. Kong film.
That'd be nice.
He's in that end credit scene to set it up. So, and Brie Larson might be in it as well.
See, there is some hope.
So I'm looking ahead, and I know we're going over with just fluff right now, but April 2020, because Marvel is pretty much. They're working on phase 3 because they did this 22 movie, tie-in to Endgame.
All I know is I heard that Angelina Jolie's going to be in a Marvel film. I was like, I don't fucking care anymore.
Oh, well, it just says untitled DC film, April 2020. How could they not know what's coming out there? It's less than a year away.
They probably don't want to say anything, or they don't have a title yet. I mean,
but did you hear that? Robert Pattinson probably is going to play Batman.
And who's that again?
Twilight. Now, I will say this. Matt Reeves is writing and directing the Batman. Okay? And last I heard was Robert Pattinson was very close to signing on the dotted line to become Batman. Now, I looked up his age. Not that really matters, but he's like 34 years old. I looked up his height, and I'm like, is this guy even tall enough to be Batman? And he's 6'1", so he is tall. And they might jack him up like they do with a lot of these superhero films.
I don't like this guy.
You know, I don't like my first impression.
Matt Reeves.
Oh, you don't like Matt Reeves? My first impression of Robert Pattinson was like, nah, I'm not into it. But I like Matt Reeves. I think those Planet of the Apes films were really fucking good.
Is Matt Reeves writing this or just directing it?
He's writing and directing.
All right. If you look at his writing credits, War for the Planet of the Apes, don't give a shit. Under Siege 2.
That's like so long ago, though.
Yeah, all right, how about the remake, the American remake of Let the Right One In?
He did that?
Yeah, and he fucked that up.
No.
The
American version wasn't as good as the original. There's no way. But I don't think he fucked it up.
He fucked the ending. He fucked up the best parts of that film. He fucked that up.
Well, not for. I don't know if he like sought out to say I want to make a remake of this. I'm wondering if it was just a job.
There's no such. You're right. There's no such thing as just a job.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I'm looking at what he's done recently, and what he's done recently is excellent, in my opinion. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say I have faith, because I need to see more Batman. All right? And the fact that Ben Affleck is not doing it anymore, and people gave him shit about it, and he was actually a pretty fucking good Batman, disappoints me.
Yeah. But he did his 3 films with Batman.
Was it 3?
Justice League.
Batman vs. Superman and Justice League.
Wasn't there a third one?
He made a cameo in Suicide Squad.
That counts.
Untitled Marvel movie, May 2020.
So I'm reading this.
Legally Blonde
Reeves,
3, because they're doing that.
Reeves is claiming that the film is not a prequel, but he's got a younger guy doing it, and the reports claim that the Bruce Wayne character is still trying to find his footing on his way to becoming a genius detective. That to me sounds like a prequel.
Well, from what I read, I think they're focusing more on the detective aspect of Batman than anything else. They're going to go more heavy into that. So it doesn't have to be a prequel if that's what they're doing.
Oh, they're going to fuck it up. I don't feel good about this.
New Ghostbusters film, July of 2020.
Who's in that?
Probably everyone but Harold Ramis, unfortunately.
Oh, but that's right. They're going the original cast again, right?
I think they're going original cast, but
they're going to fuck that up.
Well, here's the thing. What they were going to do originally was, and this is years ago, this is when Chris Farley was still alive, they were going to make a Ghostbusters 3. They were going to have the original cast, and what they were going to do was they're going to get, like, recruits, and they were going to hand it off to these the new Ghostbusters recruits. And then, of course, moving forward, making films, they were going to have, cameos or even parts for the original cast as well. And it was like Chris Farley was supposed to be in it.
So,
they were going to have a couple of Saturday Night alumni, to hand off the torch kind of deal. And I think that's what they're planning to do with this.
Are they ignoring the previous Ghostbusters film?
You mean 1 and 2?
No, I mean with the chicks.
Oh, probably.
No, you can't do that.
Why?
You can't reboot it after a reboot.
Yeah, you can.
No, I'm done with this shit.
You may be done with it, but they don't. They're not answering to you.
Can everybody get on the same page and just fucking stick with it and just like try to make some kind of cohesive sense instead of making 5 versions of the same fucking film?
They're not going to do that.
I can't take it anymore, Joey.
They're not going to do that.
I can't take it anymore. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts here.
It hurts
here on the inside.
August of 2020, Bill and Ted Face the Music.
I'm looking forward to that.
Still learning how to play guitar.
I'm looking forward to that.
Got to see John Wick 3. I haven't seen it yet.
I just rewatched the first one twice.
Oh yeah.
My parents came down. My mother was like, I want to see it, so let's watch it. And then Jack came down. He's like, I want to see that, so let's watch it. I've seen the first John Wick like 5 times now, and I've only seen the sequel. I've only seen the sequel once, so I got to go back and watch it again.
I've seen the sequel. I've seen the first one multiple times because whether we've watched it off of our Plex or it's been on cable, I've probably seen the first one like you 3, 4, 5 times, and I've actually seen the second one twice.
I think the only thing I remember from John Wick 2 is how it ends.
Oh, yeah.
I have to go back and watch it again.
Really good ending. Anyway. All right. Anyway. We're just babbling at this point, so.
Well, as usual, yeah.
As well. We've been away a while.
But we're back, baby.
All right, let's go ahead and end this.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I guess I'm going to do my spiel because in our hiatus, we never redid that either. As always, thank you everyone for joining us for yet another episode of Moviesucktastic, our 300th episode. Very much appreciated. You can go to our website at Moviesucktastic.com, which I have to redo now. We only got like 2 years out of it before I had to redo it. I need to future-proof this big time on the next rendition of the site. You can listen to the show there, download the show there. You can just chill out there if you want. You can go to iTunes and you can download the show and you can listen to it there as well. Although I just heard something today that Apple is getting rid of iTunes. So It's going to like a subscription service. So I have no idea how that's going to affect the podcast. I'm assuming we will still be listed on the streaming service, yet we don't get paid for that because our content's on there. Like I don't know. People are paying for it and they can download our I don't know how that's going to work. So it's like it's a streaming service, or is it gonna be they're gonna have some? I don't know, but I know that most of our downloads and hits come from iTunes, and it's now gonna go away. So I have no idea how that's gonna affect podcasts. Anyway, you can leave us email. The address is themovieguys@moviesucktastic.com. You can leave us voicemail, and that's 908-514-4470. 908-514-4470. Can't believe I remember that after such a long hiatus. And you can go to our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Moviesucktastic. You can also go to our Tumblr page. It's moviesucktastic.tumblr.com. And you can download the free Android app, which has been updated, but we haven't done anything with it yet.
Well, it's all starting up now, so stay tuned because it's all going to start working better.
That's right. And that about does it for me. Do you have any words of wisdom, Mr. Wilson?
I was unprepared for that. It's been a while. It's been a while. I'm out of practice.
That's okay.
Hang on, let me try something.
Okay.
You talk too much.
What'd you say, boy? Wants his mama. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.